Happy high vibrations. May your mind, body, and soul work as a whole. You know, there's nothing better than being able to feed your family, including your pets and livestock in your family. There's nothing more reassuring, comforting to know that you have some hay. Wait a second. I know you're saying, that's only 10 bales of hay. How's that going to last you all winter? Well, here's the thing. I spent 3 days looking for hay around my area, and nobody had any. And then I finally called a person I always used to get my hay from, and they said he didn't have any. But then his wife said, well, we got about 10 bales of hay that we can sell you, but that's just about it. So when I showed up, he put his hands up in the sky and he says, I haven't seen you in a long time. What's up? And I said, I finally got my roosters and hens out of my basement, and I moved on from rabbits to goats and sheep and pigs. He says, well, I didn't recognize your number, but I certainly recognized you when I looked at you. So if you want, I can put away about 10 round bales of hay for you, or 100 square bales of hay for you, if you can pay for them. Well, he's gonna give me 30 days to come up with $500. So I got 30 days to come up with $500. That means I need to make some sales. That means I need to be selling some of these energy body batteries. Hey, you know what? I just brought my mattress here last night because, you know, there's nothing better than starting the off-grid life in winter time. There's nothing better than that. You can see the smoke coming out of the chimney. There's a solar panel. We only have 500 watts so far, but I had disconnected it because it was making that beeping sound when it's not getting enough power from the solar panels that are covered in snow right now. So on my shopping list is a ladder. I need to get a broom so I can get up there and brush that off every day, so that I can assure myself some power every day. Like I was mentioning, I brought my mattress in here last night and plan on bringing another one for my son today or tomorrow. And we're gonna start camping out here. I'm gonna sleep here tonight, wake up here, go to school. Take care of my animals, make sure they're safe. And then go to my house, or my partners. Catch up on the internet and business. Let my son catch up on his video games and that. And then come home. Bunker down by the little fire. Until we can raise money to get enough energy where we can start running. Running some computers and things. Well, this is it. This is it. 700 square feet. We sanded the floors down, removed the drywall, the shelving, the counters in the kitchen, placed with wood paneling. We need to definitely replace the kitchen sink and counter and shelving when we could afford it. But for now, this is it. We have a smaller room. We have a larger room. This is our makeshift kitchen until I decide to move it back to the kitchen area. They were in here while we were doing the floors. This is our bathroom. Yes, we need a sink, vanity, and a bathtub. We have an iron claw bathtub on the porch that needs to be refinished. However, for $600 that it will cost us to refinish it, it will definitely stay outside for a little bit. Actually, we'll cover that and move it inside somewhere. That's our bathtub soon. This is our heating source. You want to help me build and maintain a fire? Remember those little posters that you see coming around the internet where they ask you if you would live offline for $1 million? Well, I'm not getting $1 million. I may need $1 million to build this property up and my businesses and so forth, but this is it. This is gonna be us. Propane fridge and stove. Stove is not working. We need to replace that too. This is our utility room. This is our solar panel. Electrical panel. As you can see, it's off our little tiny Canadian Tire inverter. We definitely need a bigger system. So all the sales and supports will definitely go towards that. This is our little tiny generator there that gives us the power that we need to pump our water out of our well. And that's one thing that we're blessed with, is purest water you can pretty much drink. Now this little cutie, this was the original house that they lived in while they were building their main house, the previous owners. Now I'm backing up so that you can see it's got a chimney. It's legit. It's definitely geared to be self-sustainable. It's got the watering units here. So you got your barrels, your rain barrels, and it collects the water. As you can see here, it's got the mesh screen so that it protects leaves and any other debris from going in. And it's got the plumbing system, as you can see there. So it's a pretty good start, right? Right now it's storing all of our shelving, our kitchen. It used to be in there. If you're watching this and you're looking for a kitchen, hey, why don't you consider our old cottage kitchen set? Proceeds will definitely be going towards developing a little farm. And so the chimney that you saw in the main house was replaced the chimney that was the chimney that was previously here. And I don't know if you can see, but let me see if I can zoom in. But underneath that green tarp is the chimney that was in the main house that we will now place inside here. But you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. I stripped it down. I'm gonna put a new floor in here, put some new wood paneling in here. I might put another window behind there and open that up into a deck or something. But keep in tune on my site, artbycac.com. I will definitely be putting some ideas out there. It very may be possible that we're going to open this up so that our guests and friends can stay here. Family. And this might even be a little art studio, shop. Many potentials, but it's 10 by 10, and we would definitely like to get it going. One of the boys, girls might inhabit it, who knows? Maybe you watching this video could possibly be hanging out, living the off-grid life, living on a farm, waking up every day, getting fresh food, doing what you gotta do before you go back to the reality of working, which I'm definitely gonna have to be looking for a job myself too, until my business and everything else takes care of itself. I'm gonna have to figure that part out, raise some money to get this place going until it could sustain itself. So I'm with you. Let's take a walk down to the studio. You see the chimney right there. It's got a nice wood shed in there. It's a nice utility shed. Really appreciate the marina down in Gravenhurst. Really apologize for not having the name off the tip of my head, but I will definitely make sure that I place a link. I responded to an ad, or they responded to my ad for some straw wanted, or hay wanted, or maybe I responded to them, but nevertheless, I've gotten quite a lot of straw, and that stuff in there is good dry straw. The stuff is kind of wet, or was a little bit wet, but you know, it still works. It's good for bedding. Thanks very much for everybody out there who's trying to do things naturally, organically. I hope I can give you some inspiration. I hope my partner and I can give you a little bit of I can do it. I hope our family experiences can help you make a decision one day. Whether to go off grid or not. It's really tough. especially when you're paying for 3 places. Children like to come for a few minutes, then they want to go back. It's really, really tough. It's another shed. Another wood shed there. Basically, previous owners had I guess a place built for their parents at one point. And then I think when they were having a little bit of rocky times, they were occupying separate places. But hey, it's to our benefit and your benefit too, because with your sales and support, we'll be getting the studio ready. Maybe this is going to be our art studio, where my partner and I display, sell our goods out of. Maybe we'll just renovate it so our friends and families could have a nice place to stay while they're visiting the farm. Who knows? That's a cute little place. It's about 400 square feet or something like that. Maybe not even. Don't mind the mess inside. Probably get a fire going in this place so it doesn't freeze. But yeah, this is the studio inside here. Self-contained unit. I'm going to put a new floor in. We're going to put a new hearth in there, similar to what you saw in the main house. And that's the stove, very similar to, well, the exact same stove that was in the main house. That was removed, replaced by the stove that was in the tiny house, which is now going to be replaced by the stove that was in the main house. I replaced the back wall right here. It wasn't finished, so I finished that job off. A little tiny kitchenette. So it's hooked up to propane, and it's hooked up to a generator outside. This is like a little tiny bedroom. The children had a little slumber party here last time, and we didn't really get the place back together, but that's okay, right? This is a little bathroom. So what I plan on doing here is getting a nice big sliding barn type door, where when that is shut, this will remain open, and when this is shut, that door will be open. Or maybe I might just get 2. Might be enough room to slide it that way, but that's what we plan on doing. So I'd like to finish this off, and even opportunities to rent this and that tiny house out on occasion. Get some revenue generated. Who knows? If you have any ideas, any comments, don't forget, subscribe to the channel. And let's help each other. And maybe next video I'll take you out to the maple bush. It's a pretty far walk. It's almost about 1 kilometer out there. Way beyond that line of trees. There's a bunch of maple that we're going to tap. And down there are my pigs, which I'm not going down there without food, because they wouldn't appreciate that. But I'll show you next video. Here's a little tiny generator shack. We were keeping some baby goats in here for a very, very short while. And now I'm going to put some hay away, feed my pigs, and get some work done. Thanks very much, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share this, go to my website. You know, it's very, very important to realize that when you're getting businesses going, I mean, right for now, nobody's going to escape away from having to have money. I mean, money's going to be shifted into credits very, very soon. They're already doing that by removing the paper bill, having things all digital, coming out with this carbon credit tax, and basically telling you that because there's 7 billion people on the planet Earth, we outnumber all the possible machines and factories that are producing carbons. Therefore, either we are culled or we're going to be paying for our exhaust. So by giving and sharing, by taking that money that we're working so hard for, we're slaving for, whatever way you want to put it, but we have to give our free energy and then buy something that we then have to use whatever energy we have left to enjoy. So by giving to our fellow peoples, you know, not necessarily these organizations, and I feel bad, but I'd almost say stay away from these big giant corporations, you know, that spend more money on attracting you to the idea of supporting them than actually building up their own causes. And find people in your area that are artists, that are doing something. We all need help, okay? And by giving and supporting, whether it's through sales or even a donation now, because you'll realize that now's the time for goodwill. People know this. And you have all these companies out there like GoFundMe and Indiegogo and all these types of charities that are all centered around capitalizing on human nature and taxing those, you know, and at the end of the day, they're not attracting anybody really. Very, very minimal. They'll even tell you that don't expect any donations to come from anybody but your friends and family, right? It's just absolutely ridiculous. So anyways, when we give to each other, what that's doing, it's really, really setting us free as a peoples, because we are actually taking care of each other, and we're allowing each other, we're helping each other help ourselves, okay? So opposed to going and getting a business loan from a bank, you know, what you're doing is you're fully securing this type of environment where you always need help from outside yourselves. Okay, and we the people are really, really, really together. We're really part of this organism we call the Supreme Being. You know, most of the operators and the controllers, you know, they're coming from a whole different perspective, you know, on their life. And you know, it's very, very important for us to realize every time you get a dollar, you know, from your fellow man, whether it's through donation or through a sale, and then you utilize that money, you parlay it, you know, into, you know, more products and services that you're going to go out, and that money stays, you know, circulates love, you know, compassion, you know, was all part of the reason why you gave. And that compassion-based dollar, was then used to maintain a compassion-based company that didn't have to go out and get a bank loan and pay all this interest and totally get trapped, and you're worrying more about, paying your bills and not getting your livelihood removed than you are of putting a good product together, right? And so the energy that is behind that is very, very negative. And it's very, defeats, the whole purpose. You end up really, really not even enjoying what you're doing, and you end up, your spirit just surely dies. So that's another abstract aspect behind giving. Is that money, even though you may have worked for it and may not even enjoyed getting it, but for you to turn that over and purchase a product from me or anybody else, or donate to me or anybody else who's trying to do something independently, then what happens is that money stays in a cycle, where you can feel not only a high vibration whenever you see that person, place, or that product, you remember giving, but that person as well. And that energy circulates, and everybody starts sharing that energy, and then that becomes what grows. That becomes the water, the nutrients, the food. I'm here looking at all these bees, and I'm not liking seeing a lot of these bees lying in my snow here. I'm not liking it at all. I guess some days when it gets really, really hot, they come out, and then they can't really get back in, or I'm not too sure what's happening, but I'm not liking it too much. And if I don't put a tarp over it, it's just gonna get way too wet and boggy. But it'll be alright. And I better stop before I get into another video. Thanks very much, everybody. All praise goes to the Divine Feminine, who's the Supreme Being, whose body hosts all that exists. Life be thy name. Remember, wholeness